So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Happy day, friends. I am Macy LaShawn Sledge, and my intention for being here is to encourage, empower, and uplift those of you who are on your healing journey, as well as those of you who are awakening to the truth of who you are. I am so very grateful to you for being here. I truly appreciate your presence. I truly appreciate your willingness to show up and do the work, because as I always say, as you show up to do the work, that is having a direct effect on the world around you. As you heal, our world heals, right? We can't have collective healing without first healing ourselves. So thank you so much for being here. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Isaiah 55, verse 11. So we are going to spend some time kind of breaking this down. I have notes here breaking down the scripture for us so that we can really learn how to use our word to create our lives. Okay, so that we can identify how it is that we might be using our word right now in a way that is working against us rather than for us. Okay, so we're going to start with that first line. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. And the first thing that we want to note here with that line is that your word is your casting net. The word that you speak, the words that you think, the words that you speak, the words that you speak out over your life, the words that you speak out over the world, your word is your casting net. Okay, what you experience or what you catch in life depends entirely upon where and how you cast your net, or where and how you use your word, right? There's this question coming through, and the question is, and this is a question for you, this is a question for you to journal over, this is a question for you to contemplate, it's a question for you to sit down and meditate with. The question is, are you speaking from the depths of your inner being, or are you speaking from your mind? Are you speaking from the depths of your inner being, or are you speaking from your mind? Okay, and this is an important question, because if you are speaking from here, if you are speaking from the mind space only, right? This isn't to say that our mind is a horrible thing. Our mind is a beautiful thing. Our minds, they are tools that we can use to help us create our lives, right? But if we are processing everything through our minds, and if we are speaking from this space only, then that can give us a pretty good idea of why our life experience happens the way that it happens, right? It gives us a pretty idea as to why we experience some of the things that we do experience in our lives, right? Because everything is being created from within you, from within yourself. Everything is flowing from within you, right? So if I am speaking from my mind instead of speaking from the depths of my inner being, where that ancient wisdom lives, right? Where that infinite knowledge lives, if I am not speaking from that space, then my life experience is going to be what my mind is dictating that it will be. So from our mind, this is where you have the pessimism, right? This is where if you struggle with having a pessimistic attitude, or if you struggle with having a pessimistic approach whenever it comes to life, whenever you look out at the world, right? It isn't because of what's happening in the world. It's because you are filtering everything through your mind instead of filtering everything through your inner being. Okay? So, what you project over your life and into the world through your word is what you will receive. It's what you will experience. Your word is your casting net. So, wherever it is or however it is you cast your net, what you catch will be a reflection of that, right? So you want to be careful about how you are projecting your word, about how you are using your word. As you are moving forward over these next few weeks, you really want to pay attention to first of all, what are the thoughts that I'm thinking? And you'll notice the thoughts that you're thinking. You'll notice that consistent process of thought that lives in your mind because you'll pay more attention to what it is or how it is that you're speaking, whether you're speaking to yourself or whether you're speaking to other people. And I'm hearing right now, take some time to pay attention to how other people talk to you and notice your response to them. Notice your response to them. Does your response align with how you actually feel within yourself? Does your response to them actually align with how you feel within your heart? Because that will show you the ways in which you're conforming to other people's values, to other people's standards, right? So we talked about in the August Heart to Heart, we talked about how we are initiating self-trust. And so here this conversation is tying in when you're paying attention to how you respond to other people, right? That gives you insight into how it is that you may be conforming. Okay? So how you are casting your net will also show you, am I conforming to it? Am I allowing the world to tell me how I should think or feel about what's going on in the world? And if I am, then how I'm casting my net, how I'm using my word when I speak about my life or about the world in general will show me that. Okay, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, meaning whatever I speak, that is what will be. Whatever I speak, that is what will be. Okay, and then the next part of that verse says, it shall not return unto me void. It shall not return unto me void, which means your casting net will never come up empty. Your casting net will never come up empty. You will always catch something. You will always catch something. When you go out in the boat and you're on the lake or wherever it is, when you're on the ocean, when you're on the river, and you throw that net over the boat and you pull it in, you go to reel it in, it will never be empty. It will never be empty. But here's what's important to remember. As you cast your net, what you catch will reveal how you are using your word, which is ultimately how you are using your power. When you pay attention to how you speak, that gives you direct insight into how you are using your power. Are you using your power on behalf of yourself? Are you using your power in an uplifting and empowering way? Or are you using your word in a way that is defeating, that is taking life away from you rather than giving you life, right? Again, as you cast your net, what you catch will reveal to you how you are using your word. Your word is simply your power, right? Your word, how you use your word is one way that you are able to use your power. Your word is powerful. Your word is powerful. And no matter how you are casting it, no matter how you are sending it forth, it will never return unto you void. It will never return unto you void. That is so important to remember, right? That's so important to remember. So if you are always complaining, if you are always complaining, if you are always talking about how bad it is, how bad life is, how bad, how horrible the world is, if that is always coming out of your mouth, then your life experience will begin to reflect that. And it's not because of, it's not because of what is happening in the world. It's not because of the external experiences that your life will begin to reflect that. Your life will begin to reflect that energy or that frequency, those experiences, because that's how you're using your word, because that's how you're using your power. You're using your power against yourself rather than on behalf of yourself. Okay? It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please. It shall accomplish that which I please. So, part of the reason why you may not be experiencing exactly what it is that you wish to be experiencing in life, part of the reason why it may seem like for you, why manifesting what it is that you desire or experiencing a more fulfilling life experience, part of the reason why that may seem like a struggle for you is because you haven't yet identified what exactly it is that you want to accomplish. You haven't really sat down to get clear on, or to connect with, I should say. You haven't really taken the time to sit down to connect with that vision that's living within your heart. So you don't really have a clear idea right now of how you should use your word, which is why right now it's just being used all willy-nilly. It's being used in all kinds of ways right now because you're not really clear on how you should be projecting your word, right? So this question came through: have you identified what you want your word to accomplish, and are you speaking in a way that reflects that? But it shall accomplish that which I please. Have you identified what you want your word to accomplish, and are you speaking in a way that reflects that? And then some other questions came up as just examples. Does it please you to experience defeat? If not, why do you speak in a way that brings defeat into your life? Does it please you to experience depression and anxiety? If not, why are you speaking in a way that says depression and anxiety are normal? Why are you claiming the state of being of depression? Why are you claiming this through your word? Why are you claiming the state of anxiety, the state of being of anxiety as your norm? Through your word, you are claiming depression and anxiety as being your norm. That is what you are claiming through your word, right? And then the example that I wrote down also was the Eeyore mentality, right? When you're watching Winnie the Pooh and you see Eeyore and he's always just, oh, someday. That is the mentality that I'm being shown that you're living with right now, is that Eeyore mentality, right? You're not allowing yourself to see that you're not allowing yourself, what I'm hearing, to see that there's a rainbow in the sky. That yes, it may be cloudy, yes, it may be gloomy outside, but right over there to your right, if you just look up, right? Because right now it's like you're looking down, like Eeyore, his head just hangs, your head is just hanging. So if you would just look up and look to the sky, you would see that there's a rainbow there. You would see that there's always a rainbow there. So have you identified what you want your word to accomplish? That's the first step. Spirit is saying that's the first step. Take out some time over the next few days to accomplish what it is that you want your word to accomplish, or to identify what it is that you want your word to accomplish. Maybe you just want to start speaking in a way that uplifts your spirits, right? Maybe you just want your spirits to be uplifted. And you're waiting on things in your life to change in order for you to experience that uplifting feeling. But right now, Spirit is saying you are going to feel more uplifted when you start speaking over yourself and over your life in an uplifting way. It happens through you. You are the way. It happens through you. And it happens through the word that you speak. It happens through the word that you speak, okay? But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. Whatever you pour your word into, that thing will come to life. Okay? Whatever you pour your word into, that thing will come to life. One of the examples that I wrote is that if you are sending your word towards thoughts of lack, then you will experience what you perceive to be lack. That will be your experience because that's where you're projecting your word. That's where you are sending your word. Okay, and that was one of the other questions that I wrote down in my journal. I didn't write it in my notes here, but I wrote it in my journal when I first started meditating over this verse. Where are you sending your word? That's when you can identify where you are sending your word. That's whenever you'll be able to really say, okay, or see how you need to shift. That's when you'll begin to see where and how it is that you need to shift. That's when you'll begin to see how it is that you are using your power. When you really start to identify and pay attention to where it is that you're sending your word, right? Because it says, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. In the thing whereto I sent it. Right? So your word is going somewhere. When you speak the word, it is going somewhere. So you have to identify, where am I sending my word? Because wherever I'm sending my word, that's where I'm sending my power. So kind of going back to the example of, if I am sending my word into this state of being of depression and anxiety, if I'm sending my word into thoughts that align with me constantly being depressed and anxious, then that helps me to see how it is that I'm using my power. And then I can make a decision. Is that how I want to be using my power? Of course not. Of course not. Okay, so you have to decide what the thing is that you want to project your words towards and leave room for nothing else. Leave room for nothing else. Because this moment in time is crucial. There is a window that is open right now. And I may have spoken to this in the August Heart to Heart, but there is a window that is open right now. And many people, I definitely did. Many people are approaching the window. Many people are looking through it. Many people can see, but very few people are choosing to step through to experience what's on the other side of the window. If you're seeing this, then I know for sure that you are ready to step through the window to see what's on the other side. You're ready. You're ready to experience something different. And so what you have to remember through this conversation is that in order to experience something different, you have to make a decision, or you have to change how it is that you are using your power. You have to take control over the words that you speak. You have to be more intentional about and with the words that you speak. You have to be more intentional about what it is that you listen to, about the words that you ingest and take in. You have to be more intentional about the conversations that you'll allow yourself to be a part of, right? It may be normal for you to listen to people rant and rave about the news and what's going on in the world. That may be normal for you, but is that serving you? You have to begin to say, I no longer want to have these kinds of conversations. I'm aware of what's going on in the world, but this isn't what I want to talk about. I don't want to focus my energy on what's negative. I don't want to focus my energy on the difficult stuff all the time. I want to speak life. I want to speak about the beauty that I see in the world so that I can experience more of it, right? You have to make that decision. You have to set those boundaries, right? So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. And right now, as I was speaking that one more time, I was hearing to challenge you to choose one thing, one simple thing this week. One simple thing, right? And it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. To choose just one simple thing that you want to focus your word towards and start speaking life into that thing. Start speaking life into that thing. Just focus on speaking life into that one thing. Just focus on speaking an empowering and encouraging and uplifting word into that one thing that you decide. And then allow yourself to just watch. Allow yourself to just witness what changes, what shifts, what transforms in your life. Your word is your casting net. And what you experience or catch in life depends entirely upon where and how you cast your net, right? As you cast your net, remember, what you catch will reveal to you how you are using your word, which is ultimately how you are using your power. I love you so much. Let me know in the comments how this conversation might have resonated for you. If you decide on what it is that one thing is that you want to send your word into, that you want to speak life into, if you know what that is for you, let me know what it is in the comments. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support so much. And I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate you, again, doing the work, because as you show up and do the work in your life, that is having an effect on the world around you. And as you change, the world is changing. I love you.